only one can survive the first weekend. That's got to be intentional. There's no way that the selection committee is sitting there looking at all this stuff going, oh, you know what? What will happen if we put 3 Hall of Famers in the same site in the first weekend of the tournament?
Well, and Rick Pitino going back to Providence where he coached. Mm-hmm. That's the other part. So you're telling me that's not going to already be a big-time home court advantage, because I don't know how many Kansas travels, obviously, but I don't know how well they're going to travel for this team. So huge home court advantage for Rick Pitino. He's got Omaha first. Crutch has done a great job with Omaha, but I think he wins that one. And, do we trust Kansas or Arkansas? I'm not saying they can't win, but even if St. John's goes 0 for 20 from 3, let's say they go 0 for 20, guys. Do we trust Kansas or Arkansas to be able to beat them, even if they go 0 for 20? I feel like it would still be a 65-62 win for the Johnnies.
Randolph?
Boogie Flames coming back for Arkansas.
Oh, come on.
No. Hear me out. No. Listen to me. I'm not.
What are we
saying
doing here?
If they can get past I'm answering your question when you said about them 0 for 20. I'm only saying you need ball handlers to handle the press. If you can't handle the pressure, excuse me, St. John, they're running away from you.
Yeah, RC. RC. Wait. Hold on, Rob. RC. What was Arkansas's record in SEC play with Boogie Fland?
0-5.
Correct.
0-5.
0-5.
I'm only saying that, and we know in Kansas too. That's just a hell of a bracket.
No, it is. I'm kidding. Listen, they got talent. Both teams have talent. It also could be the game, St. John's versus Kansas, is the Zuby revenge game against Kansas, where he could never get on the court.
There's so many storylines coming out of that region. It's ridiculous. Let's look at what else we got.
Rob, let me say this before we go. Going back up top. Something on the road. Going up top. I think Florida has the hardest road of any number 1 seed. I think if I'm Florida, it's good as they are, and I'm with Jeff. I think they're national championship good. You guys know I've been on the Gators all year long. Having to play UConn or Oklahoma, probably UConn in the second round, and then a Memphis team that we know, Maryland, the Crab 5, and what they're that bracket for a number 1 seed is, for me, the hardest one, where you look at it and you're like, all right, they're the one team that I look at first glance and I go, ooh, I got to think about picking them for the Final Four. If there's an upset, it can be in the mid. It can be in the West. Yeah, it's the number 1 seed.
I think I've watched too much UConn this year, and I can't get the struggles out of my head. Right?
You've never watched too much UConn, Rob. Never.
No, the problem is they have 2 guys that can go out and win you a game any given night. Like if Solo Ball gets hot, he won them a game at Marquette. We've seen that. Liam McNeely got hot. He won them a game at Creighton. So they're capable of doing it, but they make the same mistakes right now that they made the first day. They haven't gotten better. They still have no idea what they're doing off the ball defensively. They still have 4 guys that you can attack with isolations. And I don't see them being able to beat a Florida team that has 3 different guys that can beat you off the bounce. So Florida's just a friggin' juggernaut right now. That's kind of where I'm at with it. My favorite upset pick in this region, guys, is Colorado State. Part of it is because I'm very worried about Tyrese Hunter's status for the NCAA tournament. And I think if Tyrese Hunter is not available, that completely changes what this Memphis team is. And Colorado State, man, they've won 11 in a row now. Nick Clifford in the last 10 games is averaging 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 5.5 assists while shooting 55% from the floor and 55% from 3. He's turned himself into a first-round pick. And this is the matchup that they have been looking for, because you're going up against a team that has really struggled with lesser competition throughout the entire season. Barely squeaking by and winning games that they probably should be winning by more. They're Colorado State's playing the best basketball they've been playing all season. Talk me out of this, Goodman. Talk me out of picking Colorado State to beat Memphis.
I'm with you. When you take away a key piece like that, right, and at this point in the season, a guy that has played extremely well on both ends of the court all year. He shot it much better than he has his entire career. They've kind of got their mojo. Memphis has been great this year. I don't want to hear that. Like, I think they deserve their seed because of what they did in the non-conference. Like, give Penny credit. And I've been the biggest Penny, listen, I've said it for a couple of years now. Penny needed a year like this. He needed to show that he was the guy at Memphis. He's done it this year. So now you got to win some games in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, without Tyrese Hunter, if you don't have him, that's a valid excuse. But I don't think Tigers fans will care. You got to do something. You were great in the regular season, but you got to do something here when it matters most.
Hey, Rob. You know what? Yeah. We need to get Jeff's wife on the phone, because that's the worst apology I've ever seen in my life. So if that's like Jeff's apology to Penny, he's horrible. Like, instead of just coming home saying, "Babe, I'm sorry," Jeff gonna come home and just buy her something and just walk and leave it there or something like that. I bet Jeff doesn't even apologize to his wife. He does something like that. That is a horrible apology to Penny Hardaway and the Memphis Tigers, Jeff. And I'm not gonna let you get away with that.
That's the best I got. That's the best I got.
That's the sad part. I know it's true. Yeah. That's the sad part. That's why I'm apologizing for your wife. No, it puts a ton of pressure on Kobe Rogers. The Tyrese Hunter thing is legit. He's been a leader. He's won everywhere he's gone, and you just can't, replace that type of production, because we're talking about a team that has played the best teams in the country and have won. And unlike, Penny's teams in the past, they didn't take the competition light in the tournament. They won the regular season. They won their conference tournament. This team was different. But that's a big piece, man, if he's unavailable. But I still like P.J. Haggerty. I think, Dane Danger's playing really well for those guys. I still like Memphis to advance, but they were a team, again, was why, if healthy, they were part of the reason why. I'm like, damn, Florida, I think you're the best team in this tournament, right there with Duke and Auburn. And then, you get that matchup with, possibly UConn or Oklahoma and a healthy Memphis. But if Memphis is compromised, then that's going to be a big blow for them having a deep run.
Yeah, two more things I want to get to, then we'll make our picks in this region, then we'll move on. Grand Canyon. Everybody loved them last year. They returned a ton of pieces, including Tyon Grant Foster. And this year, we've kind of ignored them the whole year. You talked the whole season about best mid-major teams, and it's been like Drake, UC San Diego. Everyone's got these mid-majors they love, and no one has mentioned the team that's got Tyon Grant Foster, who might end up being an NBA player. And they get Maryland in the Crab 5 in the first round of the tournament. Randolph, is there a chance? That Grand Canyon can pull off this upset of Maryland?
No. Crab 5, baby, all day long.
Hey, what's the ticket you grow up in?
I'm a Queen. I'm a Derek Queen fan. You already know that, Rob. I'm going with him.
That's your guy.
There you go.
I actually agree with that.
And Foster hasn't been the same guy this year. He's been hurt. He has not been the same player this year that he was a year ago. Now, again, Jacoby Coles has been awesome for them. They're old. Duke Brennan's been great on both ends of the court. They're good, but, yeah, I don't think they beat the Crab 5. Maryland's good, man. They're good. Their starting 5 is awesome.
Yeah, I think Maryland has a puncher's chance of taking out Florida in the Sweet 16 if they get there. Drake and Missouri. I think is to me the one that's really, really interesting, because Goodman has been kind of down on Missouri. I'm high on Missouri because I think that they're difficult to play against, but I think that Drake, and the way that they run offense and the way that they scout and the number of passers and ways that they can kind of create, I think that Drake is a really, really good matchup in the sense that Drake matches up really well with what Missouri wants to do defensively.
See, that's where we differ on. I'm looking at you guys on that, and I was ready when the brackets were coming out thinking I'm picking Drake. I know Drake's going to get an upset, but I think Missouri is the team. They're not sneaking up on anybody. They're damn good. We know they are, but I think Missouri's style can bother them. I mean, they can be disruptive with their length, their volume of guys they're going to play, and their ability to switch. I think they're going to pose some problems with the length of their team as well. I think I'm gonna stick with Missouri. Any other matchup, I would lean. I wanted to pick Drake, but I like Missouri there.
It is. You're right. That's a tough matchup. The only thing I'll say is nothing rattles Bennett Sturts. Nothing rattles that kid.
No,
but it is. The question is, does he have enough help? Does he have enough help? Because it's all
he
on
can
him.
Score and he can play well. I just see the rest of the guys just turning off the fall.
Now is your chance to prove you're smarter than the field of 68. We're hosting a Survivor contest with our partner Splash Sports. There's a $25 entry fee, a 25 entry max in the contest, and more than 1,700 spots available, which means there's a $40,000 max prize for the winner. Survivor is the future of March Madness. Each day you pick a team to win. If they win, you advance. We'll also be running a free to enter bracket contest as well as a second chance Survivor in the Sweet 16. So prove you know more ball than the field of 68 on Splash Sports.
The rest of the guys just turning off the faucet.
I'm with you.
Of the guys, putting so much pressure on him that he would have to play like literally out of his mind to get them past Missouri.
No, you're right.
Bennett Sturts is going to replace Robbie Hummel as Jeff Goodman's new adopted son.
That's true,
Randolph.
Man.
Randolph, give me your Elite Eight and your Final Four.
Ooh, I'm telling you guys, it's hard for me to pick against Florida. I've been on those guys all year long, but I'm telling you, for a 1 seed, that bracket's brutal. I'm gonna go Texas Tech. I think we're sitting there. We're still not talking about Texas Tech. I'm gonna go Texas Tech and Florida.
Yeah, to be clear, we just ran out of time. We got to get out of here in about 30 seconds. But Texas Tech, I will talk about them in the next hour with John Fanta and Matt McCall. So, Goodman, who you got?
Florida, Texas Tech. Florida, Texas Tech. I'm going to have 3 teams in the Final Four from the SEC. Auburn, Florida, Tennessee, and Duke. That's my final.
Yeah, I have I love Texas Tech. I think St. John's gets them. I'm not convinced that Chance McMillan is 100% healthy. And I think that Florida takes down the Johnnies. I have Michigan State, Duke, Houston, and Florida in my Final Four. And it was very, very hard for me not to go with 4 number 1 seeds. Listen, we are going to take a quick break.